I hope you can see my screen. So, hello everyone. My name is Aditya Joshi, and I am a senior lecturer in the school. I'll be talking about our work on natural language processing for health. Before I start, just a quick introduction to myself. I did my MTech from IIT Bombay and PhD from IIT Bombay Monash University, and I have worked in different roles in industry and academia. I currently am teaching and researching NLP here at UNSW. Just a fun anecdote, my PhD thesis examiner was Partha Talukdar from IISc Bangalore. This is a broad overview of the research projects that I'm currently involved in. I will be focusing on the ones marked with the hourglass figure because they are related to the workshop. The idea really starts with the fact that language models today claim a lot, particularly in the context of English, but we observe that they do not perform equally well for different language varieties. This holds across all languages and across different NLP tasks. This is quite similar to the project Vani at IISc, which focuses on dialects of Hindi. And therefore, one of our research focuses is on improving language models for varieties of a language. Towards this, we have produced three research papers. The one on the left is a new methodology that takes a dialect adaptation approach to improve topic classification of language models for Indian English and Nigerian English. The table on the right is our paper, which is a first benchmark for sentiment and sarcasm classification for Indian, Australian, and British English. And if you're familiar with sentiment analysis research, which is often made out to be a solved problem, the numbers there really show that for non-mainstream or non-American varieties of English, there is a significant research potential. The figure on the bottom is an example of our approach to explain sarcasm in Australian and Indian English. So what does this mean in the context of NLP applications in health? Towards this, I would like to talk about two of our ongoing projects, some of which are actually related to the presentations made by colleagues at UNSW and our friends at IISc Bangalore. So the first one is TriBot. TriBot stands for Triage Bot. It is a project funded by NHMRC, which is the Australian research organization for medical research. The idea here is a patient goes to an emergency department where they talk to a healthcare worker. TriBot sits in the emergency department between the patient and the healthcare worker, hopefully improving the communication. This work is being led by my PhD student Deepankar, who is in the audience right now. So the challenge here is that patients with low proficiency of English may not be able to communicate their symptoms effectively to the nurse. And because of cross-cultural differences, the nurse may not be able to identify or correctly recognize the symptoms that the patient is trying to communicate. Of course, broadly speaking, patients would have limited or no proficiency in medical jargon. As a result, in Australia, it has been observed that people who speak English as a second language are very likely to be either under triaged or over triaged. To solve the problem, we are building TriBot, where we have a patient here who is talking to a healthcare worker, and the patient uses a microphone to record themselves in speech, which gets translated to the language that the healthcare worker understands. After this conversation is over, we would like to summarize the conversation and assign 1 out of 5 triage levels. So as you can see, the underlying NLP tasks are translation across dialects of Arabic and Australian English. Arabic because this project is being deployed in Western Sydney hospitals, where Arabic speaking community is in large numbers. Dialogue summarization is where we take this dialogue and convert it to a short summary that then can be used for triage classification. The second project that I would like to talk about is SentiWatch. This project is funded by Australia's Economic Accelerator Grant, and the industry partners on this one are Microsoft, Australia, and BizData AI, New Zealand. The second project that I would like to talk about is SentiWatch. This project is funded by Australia's Economic Accelerator Grant, and the industry partners on this one are Microsoft Australia and BizData AI, New Zealand. This project stems from my work at CSIRO, where we built a social media based public health monitoring tool. This was a first of its kind tool in Australia that collected data from hospitals alongside social media reports, essentially to identify spikes or surges in symptom reports. The goal here was not to accurately predict the number of infections, because that is not possible given the selection bias of social media, but it was useful in identifying sudden increase or decrease in infection reports. We've also worked on news articles as means of identifying public health outbreaks. And this was a paper from the web conference last year, where given a news article, we would like to be able to accurately identify the geo coordinates, that is the location which is being mentioned in the news article. So extending the work on social media monitoring, geo coordinate extraction, and our work in NLP for language varieties, we are currently working on stance and misinformation detection from social media posts in the context of public health. Some challenges here are that if you say vaccines give you fever, then it is a claim that you make. But I got fever after a vaccine is an opinion or an experience of a person. Similarly, I'm sure all of you working on biomedical applications would agree that given the proliferation of large amount of journals, misinformation detection is particularly challenging, because what is even a fact? As a result, we have identified that this project focuses on social media posts from around the world, and we would like to understand what kind of stance, that is positive or negative, or what kind of misinformation is being conveyed across social media. The goal is to be able to build a map like this, where in addition to the news articles, which EpiWatch already has, we would like to overlay this with social media perception towards public health measures. And that's it from me. These two projects are currently ongoing, and I would love to collaborate with people from ISC Bangalore. Thank you very much.